Peter Neumann is with me. He's a professor and a leading expert for terrorism at King's College in London. Mr. Neumann, you are asking for nothing less than a turnaround at Zeitenwende in terms of interior security in Germany, which is very much being framed at the moment by this attack by an individual, it seems, on a Christmas market in Magdeburg. What exactly are the consequences that you draw from that, and what's the bigger picture of what you're calling for?
So the attack in Magdeburg was particularly devastating because the attacker was on the radar screen of different agencies for a number of years. He'd been reported to the authorities at least 7 times to different agencies, but the dots were not connected. And what I'm asking for is that we're becoming better at connecting the dots, that we're creating a sort of structure that enables security agencies to understand where warnings are coming in and how they are connected. But secondly, also that we're creating a special category for people like this attacker who was not clearly Islamistically motivated, had a different kind of motivation, which also combined with psychological vulnerabilities. And in Britain, for example, in France, you have a special category for this kind of attacker that combines ideological motivations with psychological vulnerabilities. In Germany, we don't have that, and I think it would be a good idea to create a special category for that.
That's actually a concern that's been voiced many times after every single attack here in Germany. There's a diagnosis of a lack of coordination of security agencies. At the moment, we're having an intense migration debate because of this attack, which is not being treated as terrorism right now. How much aligned are you with the conservative camp here, which is asking also for the withdrawal of citizenship for people who are offenders or who say they are Islamists and they are in favor of an Islamic State kind of scenario? And what is your recommendation to the conservatives here?
So I think we have to be careful about withdrawing citizenships. That is really the ultimate measure that should be taken, and it shouldn't be based just on a couple of utterances or something that someone said. However, I think there's a lot to do. Security agencies in Germany have a lot less capabilities than in many other European countries. Capabilities in terms of surveillance, capabilities also in terms of their digital equipment and the things they're allowed to do. So I think it's a reasonable request to say that German authorities should be on a similar level to their British or French or Austrian counterparts. Right now they are not, and that is, I think, what the party here is asking for, and that I certainly support.
And they're heavily reliant, those German security agencies, on tips they get from abroad, particularly from the United States. How concerned are you that this could change with the Trump 2 presidency?
Yes, and so in 80 to 90% of cases of foiled terrorist attacks in Germany, it turns out that the initial indication, the initial sign that something was happening came actually from outside and typically from the Americans. So German security agencies are heavily dependent on intelligence from the United States. And I wonder whether Donald Trump will at some point realize this and will say, well, we want you to pay at least a share of that. So at that point, Germany will have to decide, are we going to pay for this, or are we going to equip our security agencies in a way that we can be an equal partner to the United States and can actually also contribute something rather than just being dependent?
I want to conclude just with a broader picture question in the lead up to the elections here in February in Germany. There's a radicalization, Islamist radicalization that everybody's concerned about, but how dangerous is a radicalization on the right side of the political spectrum for the overall security situation?
So I think we have a unique threat right now from Islamist radicalization. The numbers of attempted attacks has gone up very much. However, it needs to be recognized that different types of extremism often encourage each other. And so what we've seen in different countries in Europe is whenever an Islamist attack happens, at the subsequent elections, the big political winners are the right-wing extremists. And that is the big risk, that we're having increase in Islamism, and that basically as a consequence of that, right-wing extremists are getting stronger. Right-wing extremism primarily right now is a political threat. Islamism is a security threat.
Peter Neumann, thank you very much.
Thank you.